All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 32 of the Life Short, Live Free podcast. I'm your host, Sam, and I have with me Goldilocks over to my right over here. He's been combing his hair for the last half an hour because he rode his motorcycle in. And we also have Box on location. My brother Box owns Ballistic Imagery, which actually this podcast is sponsored by Ballistic Imagery. Check them out at facebook.com/Ballistic Imagery, ballisticimagery.com, as well as on Instagram. He's doing some, putting out some pretty sweet photos, several of the ones, some of my projects that I've done lately. So go and check those out.
I'm putting out photos of lately.
Yeah.
Well, they were... I really liked so far what I've seen of the photos of that Savage that you took. I've really liked those, but
yeah, I'm waiting for the main photo box. What's the hold up here?
I'm really
partial. I already posted it. What's the hold up on you seeing it?
Where did you post it on?
On Instagram.
On Instagram? Oh yeah, I'll have to go and I'll have to go and check that out. Go to Instagram. His that is Ballistic Imagery.
I want to go check it out.
Spelled exactly like it sounds.
Unless you're Sam.
Well, yeah, you got to sound it out. We are down.
Ooh, I like it.
We are down Toad, of course. So we only got 3 members here today. He is out in. Oh, that is pretty sweet. You know how he did that?
Hung it up with fishing string.
Kind of. We hung it and actually, it's right in front of the garage door in there where we did it. But anyway, Toad is out at the Black Hills on his little 4-wheeling trip. So I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately. Toad's not here today. Toad's here. Toad's there. Toad's being Toad, what he usually does.
Yeah, that's about what a guy can expect out of Toad in the summer.
Yeah, but anyway, they're out there. They do their annual 4-wheeling trip out there. And they've invited me out there before to go with them, but I'm just like, I don't know. Spending
I love the Black Hills. Like, I go motorcycle riding out in the Black Hills basically every year. This year may be a little different having a newborn at home, but other than that, for the last 4 or 5 years, my uncle and I have always gone on a big motorcycle trip, and we always start by going to the hills for the closing weekend of Sturgis, and then we'll ride somewhere beyond the hills after that for the following week. But I just got a Snapchat from Toad yesterday, I think. He was up on the mountainside above the town of Nemo.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite roads. There's a road called Nemo Road in the Black Hills that is one of my favorite roads to ride motorcycle on, and it goes through the town of Nemo. And the town of Nemo is really cool. They have a old school lodge there that there's kind of a restaurant in that's open for the summer months and stuff, and they have an old trading post where it's an old general store, and there's all kinds of cool old shit that even if it's not for sale, it's just decorations on the wall inside the shop and stuff. It's just a super cool old school town that is very late 1800s, early 1900s trapper style town. And
I used to go out to the hills quite often when I was younger, my late teenage years, early 20s. Seems like I was going out there all the time. Out in the Sturgis area, we used to know some folks, but shoot, I bet it's been, I don't know, probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Or more since I've been back. I've been back from Kansas City for 10 years, so it's been at least that number of years since I've been out there. So
yeah,
but I always hated to drive out there. That was the worst.
Oh, not for me. That's half the fun. Riding motorcycle out there. I've taken a car out there and taken 90 across South Dakota. It sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's no fun.
But riding motorcycle, we take 44 and 18, so it kind of skirts across the south edge and then take some pretty back roads. So you go through Winter and White River and Interior, Box Elder, some little podunk towns, out in the middle of BFE, but it's a lot prettier. And it's a lot more fun, little windier roads and stuff versus just cruising straight directly west on the interstate.
Yeah.
It takes a little longer, but there's like some nice little restaurants and bars and things like that to stop at on the way and just kind of break up your trip a little bit.
The only thing interesting on Interstate 90 on the way out there is the fucking signs for
the 28,000 signs for wall drug.
For wall drug, yes. How many signs do you think in total are those?
I don't know. I think I looked it up one time, and it's like an astronomical amount, but I do not recall.
At least 400 to 500. I would bet.
Oh, at least, because as soon as you get to Sioux Falls, there's already signs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's outrageous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sturgis, of course, out there in the Black Hills area, and that is still happening this year, the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, which I think they made a good decision on that. Back in the couple months ago, and I mean, it was freaking February, March, and people were canceling shit.
Events in like July and August.
Like, what do you guys, like, calm down and just like wait a few months, because let's be honest here, in the middle of August, there's not going to, it's 147 degrees out.
Especially in the Black Hills.
Yeah, this virus is not going to be, and it might pop up in a month, a little bit later in the fall. But why? Yeah,
and they say that like UV rays and stuff kill viruses. Like
heat and UV.
Yeah, so heat and UV. That's August in the Black Hills for you,
right?
Like especially riding motorcycle, you are no lack of heat and UV rays.
Yeah, so I think they made a good call on that, but we'll see how it all turns out, I guess. And actually, the other day I heard that Dr. Fauci, or whatever the hell his name is, the big kahuna,
Falsey,
he said that a second wave is not necessarily certain,
guaranteed.
So we'll see. Yeah. But anyway, as I mentioned, this podcast was sponsored by Ballistic Imagery, and that's Box's company. Box, you wanted to talk a little bit about that? You were looking for some Second Amendment companies?
Yeah, I mean, I've been searching for a couple weeks now, just trying to find Second Amendment companies or related companies to do some work for, like around here, because you can't just type in to Google firearm-related companies in Iowa. You just get all sorts. You get pretty much every single list of gun shops that you can find, and not much else. But I've heard that there's companies around here. Sam, you mentioned the other day that there's one in Cherokee that does scar parts or something like that.
Yeah. You know how butt ugly scars are. They're like, I mean, they're a sweet gun, but they're probably the ugliest freaking gun on the planet.
I don't know, the new 20S. Like the new Scar 20S, that thing's pretty sexy. But
I'm talking about the
16 and 17,
Yeah.
Pretty
well, they make this company, and I can't remember the name of it right now. Cody was just over here showing it to me last night again. But they take and replace the buttstock to it, and it actually makes it look like a freaking awesome gun. So anyway, Box, go on. You were kind of
I'm just searching for companies like that, not necessarily firearm manufacturers, but they're in the industry, whether it's accessories or parts or stuff like that. I know some of you guys know a whole lot of companies out there, and I'm curious to work with some of them. I've contacted several already in the state, like Volkortson, and there's some suppressor manufacturers in Des Moines and stuff like that. And there's several companies up in Minneapolis too that I need to get in touch with yet. Those are bigger companies though, but
Dakota, what is it? Dakota Silencer. They're a bigger company, but I've done a little bit of work for them. And the R3, the company that I got this laser from, they did quite a bit of work for them too. So that might be something to look into. And actually, they emailed me a while back. So yeah, just what about like you mentioned that when you go gun shops, like you said, that was the majority you get, but don't you think you'd have any interest from gun shops to do like
just social media posts, even
like
taking
graphics,
photos for
like similar to the graphics
posts
that I had you create for the Life Short Live Free website, stuff like that, possibly? I mean, you don't think there'd be any need for that? Never know until you reach out, I guess. So
probably, I'm not sure how much I'd be interested in doing that, because that'd be more along the graphic design line than photography and videography type stuff.
Right.
I mean, and plus a lot of them, they probably don't want to pay as much as photographers charge just for social media posts and stuff like that. Those are easy, simple posts, and who's going to pay a couple $100 for one quick post on, rather if it's not an advertisement or something like that.
Right. Another one that I wanted to mention, Box, to you was RMA. They're out of Centerville, Iowa. They do a lot of law enforcement. They're one of the leaders in body armor.
I was gonna say, I didn't know they were in Iowa though.
Yeah, they're in Centerville,
Iowa.
That would be a good one. That's fairly local, that you could contact. So RMA, I think it's RMA Armament.
I believe so. Yes.
RMA.
So, anyways, the point of this, what we were talking about, was if you listen to the podcast and you know someone with small, second, or not even necessarily that small, just be interested in some good photography work, give Box at Ballistic Imagery a call,
or even if you're interested in some photography work, you get something done by Shyworks and you want some cool photos of it, or you've got a really cool collection of antique firearms or something that you want photographed. Definitely hit up Box at Ballistic Imagery. But basically you're looking to do some product photos, as far as like commercial photos, putting in magazines for advertisements and things like that for companies, right? So
that would be that'd be ideal. I mean, there's a lot of money and stuff like that, and it's a ton of fun for me to do. So that'd be great.
And I think that'd be super cool. Just like for you especially, just thinking about how much you love photography and how much, I know how dedicated you are to making things perfect and making photos look exactly how you want them to look. Like you always have a vision in your head, and you never skimp on that. And that's what I think is super cool, and I think that's what is going to make you go super far in this. And like as far as commercial photography and advertisement photography, I know that the super contrasty, like modern style that you're super into works so well in say like YouTube ads, like commercials that go online, or magazine, full print magazine ads and stuff, like in Guns and Ammo and just Second Amendment magazines. That's definitely the style that I think draws the most attention. So
it's tough to kind of judge, because that's the style I like, but then I flip through a magazine and I see very little of that, or I see all this other specific style, and I'm like, wow, maybe I'm doing the wrong type of stuff.
Oh, but I don't think so.
Everything's got its place. I mean, everything I hear about other photographers are always like, you're your own worst critic, and you're always going to be judging your work compared to everyone else's, and you're never going to think you're good enough and stuff like that. And you definitely see that, but
well, you don't want to copy. You don't want to copy. You don't want to copy somebody else's style either. You got your own style, so you might as well bust into it. Hell, I kind of made my own niche as far as what I
themed
with Shyworks. And I'm sure you'll do the same. But and if you got an idea for this, feel free to give us at the podcast a shout too. Obviously, Box is part of the podcast here, so we'll see it on and pass it on.
Yeah. So if you know of any companies that you think would benefit from Box's incredible photography skills, or even videography skills, doing B-roll and stuff for commercials like that, either leave us a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment down below. Otherwise, reach out to Ballistic Imagery on Facebook or Instagram.
We were talking about RMA. Excuse me. You were talking about RMA armament, and actually, this was something that we mentioned a while back. Talking about getting plate carriers, and I think the general consensus, mostly from you guys, not so much me, was, why the fuck would you ever need that? It's okay. I mean, basically I want it just because I want it.
Yeah.
And you guys were more along the lines of, why the fuck would you ever need that? But I think the last 2 weeks have kind of shown it maybe not be the worst idea to have a kit set up.
Yeah, I've never been like full, like, obviously just being a freedom loving American, I'm not like, you shouldn't have that. Like,
oh no, you did. You definitely did. You said I'm a straight communist, and you will never need that. And
no.
Fuck you. That was your exact words.
Nobody should own guns.
No, I've been doing a lot of research into.
I'll be right back.
Oh, for the love of Pete, Sam! My God, sometimes you ask this guy to do one simple
Terrible
task,
planning.
and he just can't remember nothing anymore. He's just getting old.
Turn the compressor off. Actually, there's one of my airline fittings is leaking, so I gotta fix that.
But no, I think I've been doing a lot of research into body armor recently over the last couple months, and I've been talking to a lot of people. I've been talking to my cousin he's got some different styles of body armor, and hey, what have you been using? What works? What doesn't? And obviously everybody wants to go steel because they're cheap, but when you catch shrapnel to your jugular, or if you're sitting down, your balls and your thighs, it's I don't know. Does steel really seem like that good of a deal anymore? I don't know.
Well, I mean, really, shrapnel, your balls and your thighs aren't going to be covered by any. Like, what else? What do you mean? What else is going to?
Ceramic.
Yeah, but your balls aren't going to be. Why?
Unless you're in a full-on rocket suit.
No, I'm talking on steel plates.
Oh, the shrapnel from the
round.
I see. And the other thing I was thinking of,
it's just like shooting a steel target. You look at the bottom, look at the ground under our steel targets out of the range.
Yeah, right.
There's a line cut into the freaking dirt that's a couple inches deep.
And the other thing, and this was a conversation we actually had when I brought up Safe Light Defense. They make soft armor. So, and there is, to my understanding, wraps around.
Yeah, their new rifle, their soft rifle armor.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's
and
badass
it also
stuff. But
it also,
is it expensive?
Yeah, but I could justify that.
Yeah.
And the reason being, like, say if you're take what's going on right now, a lot of the rioting and shit going on, and there's guys, standing in front of their own stores, trying to protect their own livelihood and shit.
There's that's really been a really cool thing for me to see, I guess, is a lot more people standing up for their business and not just being like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm going to stay home and close my business because these people are going to blow the windows out of it. They're like, no, I'm going to stand here and smoke check anybody who tries to come in here and, hurt somebody.
Right. And my thinking on this whole deal is, say that, there is a group coming at you, and you're in front, say you're in front of the doors or something. You have your AR, but all these people coming at you, like, let's actually think of you're not just going to frickin' shoot a bunch of people that are coming at you. It's just, you're just not going to do it. So at that point,
depending on the situation, but
if they're throwing bricks at you, that's one thing.
In most cases,
a lot of these protesters, they come up and they start pushing and blah blah blah. But so that if you're in that circumstance, it's going to start getting to be close quarter combat. Your plate carrier,
force on force type,
not going to do that much, as opposed to this Safe Light defense system. It's stab resistant as well. So say somebody is getting squirrely, somebody puts one in your freaking side right here.
So somebody getting squirrely. Hey, you got.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
Nip it in the bud.
That plate carrier, that plate doesn't do a damn thing for you.
Right. Yeah.
Where that actual armor system does.
There's. I don't know. There's a lot of things there's a lot of pros and cons to all the different armor styles and systems, right? So like, you look at the AR-500 steel. The pros are it's cheap and it's definitely multi-hit rated.
Right.
Right. You can take how many hundreds of rounds do we shoot at AR-500 steel?
Right.
On the range. Yeah, it's going to be multi-hit rated and it's cheap. The cons are it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to catch a bunch of shrapnel to your jugular, your femoral arteries, you're catching shrapnel.
Yeah, but how much does the cloth on top of that?
Not very much.
Especially if you got like mag carriers and shit like that.
Not very much. Not as much as you'd think.
Interesting.
That's like, from all the research that I've done, that is the major downfall of any steel armor is the the shrapnel, the round actually fragging off of the steel.
Right.
And there's definitely different buildup coatings and things like that, like basically like Line-X coatings that they coat this stuff in to be able to contain that.
Right.
And it does help. There are some companies that do a very good job at these coatings. But that really reduces your multi-hit rating because it only sticks to the steel. Say you take 10 rounds. Well, then it starts delaminating that coating off of the front face of it, and that kind of starts to negate that.
Well, if you get hit 10 times in a plate carrier, there's a good chance you got hit 14 somewhere else.
Right. But for the most part, you buy a cheap steel plate, you're going to catch shrapnel.
Sure.
Ceramic, the benefit is it's a little lighter than steel. Generally, it's not multi-hit rated. If you fall down wearing this ceramic steel or this ceramic plate, there's a good chance you're going to break it and need to replace it because it's brittle. And it's expensive. Those are the other cons. The pros are, they're generally level 4 rated and they're generally backed with like Kevlar. So there's like a ceramic plate backed with Kevlar. So they can be multi-hit rated.
So, how is this soft armor built then? Is that just Kevlar?
So soft armor, is generally like a Kevlar weave and multi-layer Kevlar.
And this was something I was thinking about. Jesse brought up the last time we had an argument about this. He said that, say you take a rifle round of that thing, as opposed to, a plate carrier, a plate disperses that impact, for the most part, in a pretty big area. But that soft armor, it's
very
close,
knocking the ever living piss out of you, breaking ribs. You're gonna have internal bleeding. There's a pretty good chance of you getting really screwed up, getting hit with a rifle round in soft armor, even with a lot of pistol rounds in soft armor.
It'd be interesting. I'm gonna look up some testing on that and find out about it because I find.
But no, that Safe Life Defense has
Safe Light Defense, Safe Light Replace.
No, that's Safe Life.
I know.
But they do a very good job of building body armor, and they've done their homework and put in the research and development to make sure they're creating safe products that are helping a lot of people, saving a lot of people's lives. And
Box, I think
Safe Life, if you would like to sponsor us, just go ahead and send us a few plate carriers and vests, and we'd be happy to.
Absolutely.
And
show
even I'm not even gonna lie, like I'll shoot the shit out of your stuff. You want me to see if you're like if your armor holds up, I'll shoot the shit out of it.
Box, I think your attitude this last time we talked about this was, I have no need for one. If I remember correctly, that was pretty much your sentiment.
No, I said there was no need for. I would never say there's no need for armor.
No. I think you said you personally you don't feel a need for one, if I remember correctly. But you live up in that big metropolis of Spencer up there. Shit's been supposedly.
My God.
Easy there, killer. Shit's getting squirrely up there supposedly.
In Spencer?
Yeah, they're supposed to be riding and all sorts.
They
of
had there was a protest on Thursday night and it was 100% peaceful.
Oh, that's good.
Literally nothing happened.
But has any of this changed your point of view on shit?
No.
Whether you want a plate carrier or not.
I've never said that I wouldn't want a plate carrier.
You tried making fun of me last time about me asking questions about what else I should put on my fucking range belt, and you told me you want to be all kitted out.
I said it sounds like you want to be all kitted out. I never once said nobody should own armor.
Okay.
Or say that I didn't want armor.
Okay,
yes, I would like to have armor, and I think it would be a good idea to have armor.
Fair enough.
I would too.
I said I would rather have steel armor than that fucking rifle, that Safe Light Kevlar that's rated for rifle rounds, is what I said.
Right, but
and that's that. I would disagree with that.
But now that you think about it, Box, like in the situations right now, when we like that scenario I laid out, where you're more likely to get into a hand-to-hand situation than get shot by a rifle round. So the stab protection of the Safe Light would be almost more beneficiary than
You can't stab through half-inch AR-500 steel.
Right, but that only protects,
I promise.
That only protects this area.
Right.
You can get just as dead with a knife coming in this way.
So, and that's where I think the Safe Flight Defense, like rifle-rated soft armor, has a huge advantage over like traditional hard armor, whether it be ceramic or steel. Like obviously I like steel body armor plates. Yes, they're cheap and they're effective. You can, you're not gonna penetrate an AR-500 steel plate. I agree with that, but I think the cons of having worrying about having that frag from that round splattering up at your neck and at your arms and down at your legs and stuff, to me that just I would rather wait until I could afford ceramic armor or that rifle rated soft armor stuff. The one big pro to that rifle rated soft armor is that it has so much more coverage than a traditional plate of any kind. Like traditional plates are, if you get the extra large ones, they're 11 by 14. The standards are 10 by 12.
Right.
So just, from your clavicle down 12 inches. I mean, that's not covering any of your guts, not covering anything.
And there's a damn good chance if you get shot in the gut with a
you're going to bleed out.
You're probably friggin' dead anyway.
Yeah. So that, having an actual full coverage vest, that's a big benefit. That's a huge pro. And I understand that's why they charge so much for the damn thing, but
another thing is maybe we should talk to somebody that actually
knows what the hell they're talking about.
Well, I'm saying experience with both systems, because we're just like little to no experience with them. It'd be interesting to talk to somebody that has to wear them every day, or has had an experience with both systems. So, I wonder.
Initially, I will say initially I was 100% on the I'm just gonna get steel plates, with a build-up coating and throw them in a plate carrier, and I'm not going to have to worry about it. There's $300 in armor, and I'm good.
Right.
And then I really started doing some reading, and I was like, well, it'd be good for maybe a shot. And then when that anti-spalling coating, which, mind you, the word spalling is totally incorrect. That really bugs me, too. Like, spalling is... So if you were to hit a steel plate on the front and the mill scale that flies off the back, when you deflect it, that's actually spalling. The actual round deflecting and creating shrapnel and flying off in every direction, that's not spalling.
Huh.
But they call it anti-spalling.
Sounds better.
Coating. Yeah.
Sounds better than anti-frag.
You
can't say anti-frag. Yeah, that doesn't really work either, because anti-frag would seem to mean
catches
protecting
fragments.
You from frag grenades.
Well, it would be anti-grenade.
So I wonder if they have. Did they have personal body armor back in World War II?
I don't know.
Either of you know?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm going to Google it.
The reason I brought this up...
I bet Toad would have a whole, at least 12-minute story on improvised World War II body armor.
Probably. And
I'm interested to hear it.
The reason I brought this up is today is June 6th.
Yep.
Obviously, D-Day. The invasion of Normandy, which was the single largest... seaborne invasion in the history of the world. When it and actually I
don't
God,
think
I hope
it's
I hope we never have to have
I don't think we've ever eclipsed that
something that big again. But the sheer numbers of this thing, I mean, it was just absolute insanity. The amount of people, there was almost 7,000 Allied ships were deployed around there. There was 40,000 German soldiers on the front line.
I just realized that the top line of these was not in English. I tried to read the top line and I was like, "What?"
It takes you a minute.
Thought you were having a stroke for a
yeah,
second.
I was like, "Marin's
Why
alias?
can't I read this?
Yeah, there was 15 Allied nations engaged in this. 132,000 landed Allied soldiers. Think about this: 132,000.
That's crazy.
Not 1,300 or not 13,000. 132,000.
Yeah.
The sheer numbers of that. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
How big is Sioux City? Like
80,000.
Yeah, I mean, it just it's just insanity.
Yeah.
There was 23,400 Allied paratroopers that parachuted out just that day, just that one day alone.
Right. And then on top of so you've already got 40,000 Germans on the front, 132,000 Allied soldiers that landed, and 23,400 paratroopers that dropped in.
Mm-hmm.
You had another 25,000 sailors, right, on the vessel surrounding the beach.
Right.
But you had 1,550 Allied tanks that were that landed on the beach, as well as another 12,500 Allied vehicles. Like that is just unfathomable amounts of stuff to me. Like,
yeah, I mean,
1,500 tanks, 12,500 other vehicles, and basically 150,000 troops, all on this one beach.
11,590 total Allied aircraft were deployed. There was only 815 available German aircraft in France when this happened. 10,395 tons of bombs dropped on those beaches. 10,000 tons.
Yeah.
That's 2,000 pounds per ton,
right.
Obviously. So take 10,000.
2 million pounds.
Oh my Lord. Just the sheer
another thing, go back to that graphic there. 200,000 beach obstacles.
Yeah.
So everybody knows like these hanging, like mines that were in the water, as well as like these, like it was basically like I-beam made into like a ball, like a spike ball,
mm-hmm.
Like
three of them welded together in an X,
yeah.
and then the other thing poking. Yeah.
Yeah. And like just being an amphibious vehicle, pilot trying to drive through all these obstacles and shit, or clearing these obstacles for all these people to get through. That would have been a job in and of itself, trying to navigate the beach with 200,000. Like, think of that. There was almost 2 obstacles for every soldier that landed there.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts.
And I think the most sobering there we go, statistic, 3 tries on this whole graphic here is 20,500 Allied and German losses. The sheer,
right.
Jesus, like that's probably one of the deadliest days in the history, of the world, probably.
Yeah. So,
maybe, I don't know. That's a lot of freaking people killed there.
That is a lot of people. If you look at it on the grand scheme of things, you had 25,000 sailors, you had 130,000 Allied soldiers, 20,000 paratroopers, and 40,000 Germans. For 250,000 people to be fighting with each other on the beach for one day, to have 20,000 people die. It could have been a lot worse, I suppose.
10,500 of those were numbers of Allied casualties. 10,000 of those were German.
So
the Germans
lost
had
a quarter of their fighting force.
And 6,000 of that number, 6,000 right there. U.S. losses on D-Day. When you think about this, and nowadays you think about the shit that people complain about and the fucking we complain about our fucking Prime packaging took 3 days instead of 2, or that the freaking drive-through freaking meal took 5 minutes instead of 3 or whatever. I cannot fathom having to go through something like this, and now nowadays you see the absolute fucking ridiculous bitches that we have all become.
Yeah, it's pretty humbling to like see the numbers from World War II, and even since World War II. Like, look at Vietnam. Look at the numbers of Vietnam. Even look at the numbers in Afghanistan and Iraq, and just warfare in general. The U.S., the history of the United States casualties in warfare, and
right.
It's pretty humbling to look at the number of soldiers that have lost their lives for us to bitch about Starbucks taking
over 1 million,
4 minutes.
Over 1 million soldiers since the states began.
Yeah, you know what I mean though. Like it's pretty humbling to think about how many people have fought and died for our country for us to sit and bitch about the package that we ordered on the internet on our telephone taking more than 3 days to get to our house.
Right, or even the so-called injustices that we all think we experience right now. Yep. It's just unbelievable. And I can't fathom being a guy that's went through this and then to see how far.
Dude, I would be, I can only imagine, the back in my day argument. It's just, it's strong for people who were in World War II and, actually had to go through that shit. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, just
your grandkids, if you see your grandson with a puppy dog filter on Snapchat, I'd smack the fuck out of that
kid. I agree.
Oh man.
So this week's badass of the week is every
bad son of a bitch who put boots down on the beach in Normandy.
Yep, absolutely.
You were a bad son of a bitch, and you did this incredible nation an incredible service.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even have anything more to say about that. It's just still some of those numbers it's just absolutely mind-boggling. Because I've seen crowds of 50,000 people before.
Yeah.
And it is
to almost triple that, it's mind blowing,
right? And it's just those people fighting each other, right? Like, there's 50,000 people. Let's take it times 4 or 5 and give them all freaking grands.
PPSH 43s, MG 42s.
Oh my sweet Jesus, dude! I just can't imagine that. I can't imagine
the door dropping off of one of these amphibious vehicles and just hearing an MG 42 just ripping, and they're like, "All right, go."
Right? Yeah, it's like, no, I think I'll stay back here. Thank you.
God.
Yeah.
The size of the balls on these guys.
Right. It's just and many of them knowing that like those frontline troops, like knowing when that door dropped, there's probably a 1 in 2 or better chance that you're getting freaking mowed down as soon as that shit drops.
Oh man,
because that was exactly where they was aiming at those vessels that dropped the doors in there. Where do you think those machine gunners were shooting, dude?
Oh shit, yeah,
right there. The balls. of those
they weren't trying to hit the paratroopers that were coming down, dropping down. They were, there's a boat of 15 guys about to open the door right here. I'm gonna wait till the door opens and smoke them.
And that's what, damn it, that's what made America great, because those dudes, they knew that they weren't just dying for no reason. They didn't have the balls to do this, to frickin' die for no reason. They knew that what they were fighting for was true and right and real, and that's why they did this. And that's why America was great, because of these badasses like this. You know what? We beat back a horrible thing, and we frickin' defeated a horrible enemy. And that's damn right. America was great.
You know what the best part about that is? These guys didn't even sign up for that.
Nope.
These guys didn't even volunteer and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to go be in the Army and do this shit. I'm going to go sign up and be in the Marines." These guys were drafted.
Yep,
These guys had no choice in the matter. They got a letter that said, hey, you are to report here at this date at this time. And guess what? They still fought for our country because they knew what their duty was and what they needed to get done and why it needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's something that I think is very lost on current generations of, truly what it means to fight for your country. And if you were drafted, if there was a draft now, boy, the way things would be different. My God.
Right. So I think that would be the next topic is the top 10 things that make America badass. That's number one. We did some damn good things in our past, and we gave up a lot of shit. We lost a lot of men to make sure that there was a little bit of justice back in the world, and the shit that was going on over there in Europe. That was it was some pretty horrendous shit.
So do we want to start with number 10 or do we want to start with number 1?
I don't think we're gonna order them except for that fact though. That one will be number 1, and the rest will just kind of be.
So number 1, back-to-back World War champs.
Back World War champs. Damn right. You're lucky we saved your ass twice. Don't make us do it again.
Yeah, watch your fucking back, Japan.
Don't make us come over there, you little bastards. So we wanted to talk about. We were trying to think of a interesting topic. And with all the shit going on, everybody saying America sucks.
I'm sick of all the negativity.
That's
I'm
right.
Sick of all the negative bullshit.
We wanted some positivity.
Some cool, awesome, fun things. The top 10 things that make America badass.
Damn right.
The first thing I think of is American muscle cars, right? American muscle cars and Harley Davidson motorcycles, just old school. They have the iconic sounds, the very traditional sounds and feels that just scream America. There's hardly any motorcycles that scream America like the sound of a Harley Davidson or like a 60s or 70s V8 car.
Right.
The sound itself, that's pretty hard to replicate. And I think that's a big thing that.
So you're going to go
very American.
You're going to go a different direction than me on this, aren't you? And that's all right. But see, I was thinking more the things to think that make America badass is, obviously I was gonna say the Second Amendment. We all have the right to our freedoms, but I think we're just gonna say the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights,
for sure.
Because whether you agree with I don't know what's going on in America, you think we all have
whatever your opinion is.
Whatever your opinion is, we all have the same rights,
whatever.
And that's what it boils down with. You have the right to defend yourself, just like I do, and we advocate for you protecting yourself, just like we do.
And we'll advocate for you, your right to assemble. We'll advocate for that. That's we've said time and time again on Facebook that is just as American as apple pie. It's just as American as the Second Amendment is, because
Absolutely.
It's part of the Bill of Rights. Just your right to assemble, your right to break into Target and steal TVs and burn down an O'Reilly's Auto Parts. That's not part of that. And if you're a business owner and you are in one of these areas that's affected by this civil unrest, we'll call it, we also support your right to defend your life and your business.
Absolutely.
And
we'll also be very clear that we're 100%, like Johnson said, for the right to protest is American as apple pie in the Second Amendment.
Yep.
But when it turns to violence,
You're right to assemble
losses.
is absolutely 100%. You're right as a God-born human. That's just a thing that you can say that you don't agree with something, and you can assemble with others who agree with your line of thought. But as soon as you start destroying public and or private property, you are no longer demonstrating your right to assemble. You're being a thug. And
that is all we got to say about that one. But I haven't heard from. I don't know if Boxes we've lost the live feed, or we just haven't heard from him for quite a while. But Box, we need number 4 from you.
Apple pie.
I mean, that's pretty awesome, but I wouldn't say that's strictly American.
Yeah.
What's
I know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have much. I'm not a listing kind of person.
Come on. When you think of freedom and what makes America great, what's the first thing that comes to your brain?
Dude, I don't do much. I work on cars and I shoot guns.
Well, hey, those two are pretty. Those have to be up there. I mean, like, obviously, we have the Bill of Rights, which has the Second Amendment in it, and the first, and muscle cars and motorcycles. I mean, they're right at the top. I can't argue with them there. That's pretty American as fuck.
I guess. Well, the reason I don't have something to list here, I guess, could be listed as American, is I'm one of those guys that, I don't know, some people may see it as unpatriotic or something, but I'm just one of those guys that wants to live my life and be left alone, so I don't really put that much thought into stuff like that, and I believe that's a pretty great reason.
That's pretty goddamn American right there, Boxes.
Able to do that. It's just be left alone.
To be left alone, to be a man on your own. I think.
I guess that probably goes hand in hand with freedom or whatever.
Yeah,
I think that's
just generic God-given freedoms and being a man on your own, not having to rely on other people.
Can we start a new party? Just the party of leave us the fuck alone.
The leave us the fuck alone party. Yeah.
I mean, because it seems like anymore, like both sides are just.
Well, the whole two-party system was never meant to work. That's all fucked.
No, but I think that's a good one. Leave us the hell alone, and I think that's ultimately what we all, any red-blooded American really wants, is just to be. Let me live my life.
Let me do my thing. Yeah.
Stop interfering in it, and don't try to tell me how to live my life.
Yep.
Bacon.
Bacon, apple pie, baseball, football. I mean, where do we want to start? I mean, like, there's so many things that make America badass.
Should we say the food?
The 4th of fucking July, Independence Day.
Yeah,
we defeated the aliens. Oh wait, that was just a movie.
That's I think the 4th of July, that will be kind of left on the. I mean, that's just part of that's celebrating being American.
Oh yeah. I almost wanted to mention the Bundy standoff again. Like,
and I think that falls in with the Bill of Rights.
That just lines up with, like, George Washington would just be. I can just imagine him looking down from heaven, going, "Yep, that's America right there."
So how about number 5? We throw in food. I mean, because let's be honest, we got a hell of a lot of awesome food.
Oh yeah. We've
pizza,
stolen.
That's from Italy. Tacos, Mexico.
Hey, grilling and barbecue.
Oh yeah, grilling season.
Yeah, grilling, barbecue,
smoking meat.
Yeah, I would say is that's kind of a
Smokes Meats. Hey, we hear you, buddy.
That's really. I mean, grilling and smoking. That's kind of a. Did that originate in America? I mean, they've grilled food since the beginning of time, but really the whole, barbecue as we know it was kind of. I mean,
I'm pretty
sure
that's pretty Southern American.
Yeah, but I believe so. Not just Southern American. We're not Southern. We're Midwestern.
Okay.
All right.
I'm from the South, but all right.
You're not. No, you're not. You might have been born in Texas, but. You're an Iowa boy, whether you like it or not.
All right.
You goofy bastard.
All right.
He just wants to be a Texan so goddamn bad.
I mean,
I love Texas. I love Iowa. But boy, I love Texas.
I do love Texas, but it seems like that place.
Have you seen the second securing of the second defending of the Alamo?
I heard about that the other night. Yeah,
these motherfuckers don't mess around.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
Better than the freaking worthless sheeple in D.C. who just the Lincoln Monument and all these other monuments on in the National Mall. We're just let's just spray paint them all. I'm not going to defend them. Fuck it. It's just the history of our nation. Who cares?
Well, to be fair,
let's just let everybody deface all this bullshit.
No, I don't feel like that they... I don't know. Did they even have enough? How can you defend a monument? Did they even have enough people to freaking... I mean, the whole...
I think it would have taken... I think it would have taken
fire.
At least one magazine of AR-15 to deter a very large amount of people from defacing the Lincoln Monument.
But that whole damn
if I'm being honest, you hear one mag dump from an AR-15 and you are spray painting on the Lincoln Monument, you are running.
So rubber bullets, those are shot out of a specialized gun, are they not?
It depends.
Can we buy rubber bullets?
As far as shotgun rounds? Because you can take a regular ass Remington 870 or Mossberg 500 and run the shit out of some beanbag rounds.
What about do they make them for any other calibers? You can't buy them for ARs.
That I don't know.
So here was my question. I was thinking about this the other day, and actually really thinking about this. Would an AR be a good weapon in this sort of scenario? There's 50. Well, just hear me out here.
Oh yeah.
Just hear me out.
I think just the crowd dispersal factor is pretty beneficial.
But is that going to be any better than a freaking shotgun?
Yes.
Do they know you're shooting rubber bullets at them when you pop a few at them?
Oh, with rubber bullets? I don't know.
Or
I'm talking
the other side of
it.
I know, but the other side of it, you're shooting at somebody in such a crowded scenario. You got to worry about, and if with a 55 grain Full Metal Jacket, you got to worry about pass through.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know. It was just a thought I had the other day.
Personally, to me, Full Metal Jacket's meant for the range and practicing. If I'm shooting at a soft target, I'm not shooting Full Metal Jackets. First off.
Well, dude, what do they do over in frickin'
I understand that
U.S. military. That's
that
what
military
use.
And NATO rounds are Full Metal Jackets. Generally, they're not shooting in crowds of people. Also,
have you seen Iraq or Afghanistan?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Anyways, we kind of got off. We kind of got off subject. We're on number 6. What was the number 5 was grilling barbecue, barbecue and food.
Yeah.
Number 6. I was gonna say the right to. I think American capitalism. I think that's that. I think in this day and age,
the American dream.
Capitalism and the American dream.
Fascist son of a bitch.
But I think
I think you're right though. Capitalism and the American dream, which, that's why people immigrate to the United States, right?
Right.
Is the chase of the American dream, and that is capitalism. I think
nowadays it's so misunderstood. I got in an argument the other day with some. Well, actually, it was just a conversation.
No way.
Well,
Sam arguing with somebody on Facebook.
I didn't feel like getting into a huge. I was busy that day, so I didn't feel like getting into a huge argument with them. But their statement was burn it all down. They were
start
talking
over.
About, well, they were talking about the riots and shit, and her motto was burn it all down. So I went and looked at her Facebook page, and her little slogan or whatever was peace, love, and reggae. I'm like, are you? What the hell's going on here? But she called
you advocate for peace, yet you want to burn the entire country.
But the
down.
thing, she called capitalism evil and a tool of oppression, and I didn't even engage her in it.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
How confused are you? They don't understand that capitalism is here. I made this beer. Pay me $2 for it. Okay, here you go. An open free will transfer of material.
No thing. How about
that's
$1?
all it is. That's
how about
capitalism.
$1.50?
Okay, that sounds fair to me, sir. I will take your money. Here's your product. And that's I don't understand how it got so diluted.
No, you give me your bread, I give you beer. 3 days. Okay, communism. That sounds. I think you stand in line 3 days. You get 2 slices of bread or 1 beer.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
How bad has our education system failed when they think that socialism is more a fair system than capitalism? The very
well, and the fact of the matter is that there's been a generational change towards entitlement and laziness, and that just inherently screams socialism and give me free shit, and it just doesn't work. And they don't know any better because they didn't listen in history class, and they don't pay attention to other countries outside of the United States. If it's not on Facebook or TikTok, they don't give a shit. So they don't pay attention to the outside world. So
number 7 is bikinis. 100% bikinis. I mean, can you really even argue with that at this point?
No, I mean, when was the last time you were at like a beach?
It's been a long time.
My God. That's something, maybe we should do a Life Short Live Free beach day.
Beach day. Here's an idea. How about we do a Life Short Live Free white trash bash?
That's what I was just thinking. We were talking about having like a party and a camp out for instead of Freedom Fest. We could do that on a beach. Have a big old bonfire on the beach.
Yeah. Where are we doing this? I'm down.
What beach can we do this on?
Oh, hell, I don't know. Maybe
hey, if it's going to be a redneck bash, why don't we do it on a fucking sandbar on the river? Fuck the beach. Let's do this bitch on a sandbar.
Can we? Okay, but it's got to be somewhere that people can drive to.
Oh,
not everybody
for sure.
Remember, you probably weren't at our pasture party.
No,
back in the day. Remember with Tony? Were you there, Box? Me and Tony and the
Moody
Colors.
Palooza? No, I was not there.
No, it was a party after Moody Palooza when the Colors the whole family got in a big brawl with somebody.
What?
No, I wasn't there.
Dang I missed out on that.
It was back in our younger days, where I think we were just out of high school, and there was still this town rivalry almost, like the little small towns like
Mobile.
Somebody shows up. I don't even remember where these fellas are from. They might have been from Hinton or I don't know, a neighboring town.
Yeah.
Well, they show up, and for the most part, we're opening. We're welcoming to them, but. I don't.
One of them tries to hit on one of the local girls.
No.
Somebody gets pissed off.
Nope.
That's how it always goes down.
Nope, that's not what happened at all. This
reenactment of Grease.
Right, exactly.
So this party was at the bottom of it was on the kind of it was in a pasture by a river, and there was a big hill going down to it. So everybody parked at the top of the hill and walked back down. Well, I don't remember what happened, why these fellas were leaving. There was some bad blood apparently. Nothing happened up until this point. But they got to the top of the hill and they threw a beer bottle down. Well, it conked Moody in the top of the head.
Oh boy.
Knocked him clean out. He's done. He just out. Well, all the cousins were there, and my family at this point was me and the cousins were all extremely close. This all I remember is the whole family just charges up the hill, and there's like 3 of these guys. There was like 6 of us, and it was just beat the snot out of them. At one point, I remember looking over, and one of my cousins has a guy in a headlock, and my female cousin freaking
sucker punching
right in the face, and
this guy
just beat the bejesus out of these guys. And it was like, oh, I'm so proud of you guys. It was so redneck.
I definitely think we should do like a
white trash bash.
Hey, what are we on? 7?
8.
White trash parties.
White trash parties for sure.
I mean, let's be honest here. Rednecks at their core are freaking awesome dudes.
Oh, yeah. And I know, I don't even really want to go there and just touch the subject because people are like, well, rednecks are racist. But,
Dude,
rednecks are, honestly, rednecks are some of them. If you were to, honest to God, meet and interact with real rednecks, you will find some of the most genuinely nice and accepting of all kinds of people
oh hell
you
yeah.
will ever meet in your life. Like Southern rednecks are like some of the best people I have ever met in my entire life. Just
absolutely
awesome,
welcoming and awesome dudes,
Yeah.
and they'd bend over backwards for anybody. And yes,
Yeah.
are there some some freaking racist? Yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
there's always going to be
fucking racist dickheads in all walks of life. There's
Right. The
fucking
majority-
shitty people everywhere.
the majority of them
But-
that I've ever met have been freaking.
I don't even
pretty
know.
awesome
I don't even
dudes.
know that I've really truly met like a bad redneck.
No, I can't. I mean,
Personally, I don't think I ever have. I've only met like super genuine, like awesome, like just incredible people who were like. There was one guy in North Carolina that I met that was like. He came to the, like, I was at a gas station. This dude came up at the gas station and was like, yeah, you guys got gas cans in here? And like, found some dude on the side of the road. Walked 6 miles for this guy to go buy a gas can, fill this gas can full of gas, walk like 5 or 6 miles back to this dude's car because he was a city slicker, didn't know what the hell he was doing, stuck on the side of the road. This dude, who was a black guy, Southern gentleman, just like super heavy accent, found this business guy on the side of the road, didn't know where the hell he was, ran out of gas. He walked 5-6 miles, get to the gas station, bought a gas can, filled it with gas, carried this 5 gallons of gas
right
back the 5 miles to this guy. Like,
I talked to
and that dude, I guarantee you, would classify himself as a redneck.
yeah.
Because that dude was a redneck if I have ever seen one.
I talked about it a few podcasts back when a gun ended up getting lost in North Carolina. It got found, but
Yep.
while I was trying to track it down, I called a post office down there in North Carolina, and I didn't realize how. I mean, this must have been backwoods.
Where at?
This was
Don't tell me like Greensboro or something.
no,
Because that ain't backwoods.
was it Fayetteville or Ash? I don't remember.
That ain't backwoods.
Well, but
That's
hear me out.
Major city.
Yeah, I know, but hear me out. Anyways, I called this post office, and this dude, like, I have never talked to somebody on the phone this redneck. This
Asheville, North
guy
Carolina,
had
that's-
about the thickest accent. It was just like, and you can tell he was probably in his 60s. Just super, super thick drawl.
Yeah, North Carolina's pretty heavy, like Southern accent. I dig it.
I guess I've only been through. I was only in North Carolina. We came in at dark and we're gone before dark, or before light, so I never really experienced too much of it. Number 9.
I like North
We
Carolina.
need a number. We need a number 9. Let's see.
How about just motorsports? NASCAR, NHRA.
Well, that'd be kind
motocross.
of that was number 2 was muscle cars.
No, that's a whole different deal. Muscle cars, they're badass.
You saying motorsports?
NASCAR, NHRA, drag racing, motocross, motorsports. That's
an international thing, though.
I mean, he's not
NASCAR,
wrong.
Not really, but
NASCAR. Well, okay, we'll say
NASCAR,
NASCAR, sprint
like
cars,
drag racing,
dirt track racing.
None of
We'll say
that.
that.
NHRA is like international, and like sprint cars, all of it's international, but nothing is to the scale that the United States pushes motorsports.
Yeah.
There's
suppose.
there's a few countries that rival us in like drag racing and maybe burnout competitions. Like the Australians, they like to do a good burnout contest.
Yeah,
and
they're really
God
big into
bless-
sprint cars, like huge.
Yeah, like God bless the Australians. They're
Huge.
big into motorsports,
Huge.
but boy, they just don't push it like we do in the US. And especially like how about this, like mud bogs? Have you ever heard of the event Rednecks with Paychecks?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like big, huge, expensive ass $100,000 mud bogging trucks, $40,000 ATVs, and like it just outrageous, crazy expensive builds of just all these rednecks that make way too much money working in the oil fields and just spend all of it on their toys. I love it. It's awesome. I wish I was a redneck with a paycheck.
It'd be interesting to see how, like, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of our shit is muscle cars, grilling, bikinis, white trash, and motorsports.
Yeah, well, it's pretty apparent that we're hillbillies. It'd
be interesting to see like how much different a city folk, city folk would define their top 10 as. Because I'm pretty sure it would not be anywhere close.
I guarantee you, most city folk would look at a list of top 10 reasons America is badass, and they would be like,
no.
Racist.
Liberal city folk, but there are a lot of good city folk too. And well, I mean, the city folk that I knew, a lot of them, are down in Kansas City. They're good folk, that think a lot like I do. So
yeah.
But we need number 10. The number 10 reasons, or the number 10 reason why that makes America badass. What is it, fellas? What is it?
Bald fucking eagles.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. Those are pretty badass sons of bitches.
God damn. You ever seen them motherfuckers swim? Try and catch a fish that's too goddamn big. I mean, that's American as it gets.
I saw the video the other day.
You fucking egregious son of a bitch. That's just, you know what? I can't even carry this fucking fish, but goddamn it, I'm going to go catch it, kill it, and then I'm going to swim to the shore and eat it. Then I'm going to be so fat that I can't even carry myself.
Did you know that a bald eagle doesn't get its white head until it's 5? At least 5.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Adolescent bald eagles, they just are all brown.
So usually when I see those, I just assume that they're
red-tailed hogs.
Golden eagles.
Well,
because they're probably that size. But
right,
I saw there was a east of Pearson a couple years ago. There was must have been a good 15 or 20 bald eagles in the field, and they were all of age.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was they needed ID to get into that party or something because they were all of age. So,
another I guess lesser known fact is that the noise that you hear most people play as far as like a bald eagle screech is actually a red-tailed hawk. Bald eagles actually sound pretty fucking wimpy.
Really?
Yeah, I'll play an audio clip here.
You had to go and fuck up my imagination.
Yeah, give me a second. Give me 2 seconds of silence where I can play an audio clip. So that's an actual bald eagle.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, you go fuck yourself, you dick. But bald eagles, actually, they have like they almost have like a whimper. They have like kind of they don't have as aggressive as a screech. So yeah, in most times that you hear like a bald eagle and you hear like that real aggressive screech, that's actually a red-tailed hawk. That they play most of the time.
Interesting.
In place of
Those
the actual bald eagle
are
noises.
thick around here.
Oh yeah. We need to have an open season on them. That's something that I've been meaning to discuss with the DNR because I don't know if a lot of guys know this, but red-tailed hawks eat a lot of pheasants. Pheasants are, the population is very closely watched by the DNR in the state of Iowa. Especially in northwest Iowa, the DNR pays really close attention to the population of ringneck pheasants, and one major predator that ringneck pheasants have is the red-tailed hawk and the red-shouldered hawk. And it's what?
Yeah, we lost video.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I'm sure that's only been going on for the last 20 or 30 minutes.
No, I checked that a little bit ago. We ran out of storage space apparently.
Oh, neat. But yeah, so red-tailed hawks are generally a very big predator as far as ringneck pheasants go, and the number of red-tailed hawks around here is
it's insane.
Growing
every time you drive down the road, there's a red-tailed hawk
10 of
on
them
the side of the road. Usually, generally.
So
they're pretty thick.
I would like to see an open season on them.
No, I don't think that's going to happen, though.
I don't either, but I'd like to see it.
Well, guys, I was going to do one more segment, but since we lost video, we've probably covered enough. Is enough that we need to today, I guess. So, I guess we are going to call it a podcast. It was a fun one. Thanks for checking in with us, Box.
Yeah.
You weren't real talkative today. It was
Well, I'm not gonna lie. You guys talk a lot, and I'm not one to typically just interject.
Right.
I usually wait for an opportunity to talk, and neither of you guys ever shut up.
Right. Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Box.
I'm not going to argue with on that point.
Yeah, we definitely, neither of us really ever shut up or give anybody else room to talk. So
Yeah, not really. And I don't have a problem interjecting either.
yeah, that's one thing that I wish Box was better at, was just telling us to shut the hell up and like interrupting us and having, I know he always has thoughts on things, but
He needs.
I really have something to say. I'll yell and tell you to shut the hell up. And
right, yeah.
Part, I'll be like, oh, I'll just wait until they're done talking, and then
Well, that never happens.
But that never ever happens.
Right.
You just need an interject button. You can beep it and it says, "Hey, shut up." And then
Well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just a button that mutes the both of us, because we really don't always have anything that important to say. He could just mute the both of us and kind of take in our place.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Make sure you check out ballisticimagery.com as well as on Facebook and Instagram. Give them a shout if you need any work done. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say, other than I guess we'll be back in 2 weeks. Make sure you check us out on Wednesday night live on the Life Short Live Free Facebook. We do gears and beers every other Wednesday night, so make sure you check that out.
Just a reminder for everybody, if you know of any Second Amendment companies that are looking for product photos or advertisement photos or videos even, have them reach out to Ballistic Imagery. Box is really looking for some companies that he can work with as far as doing commercial photos, videography, doing advertisements, things like that. So if you guys can think of anything for him, let him know. Just give him some ideas for companies to contact, or if you have contacts with companies, try and give him a shout or give him a little shout out. So
yeah,
I think we're gonna do a commercial of some sort for Shyworks here before long. Just kind of figure things out, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
but yeah,
we always have fun doing stuff like that.
What'd you say, Box?
Nothing important.
So yeah, gonna crawl our podcast, but guys, thanks for sticking around, and make sure you check us out on the next episode. We'll be back like usual, and remember, till we talk to you next time, life short, live free, God bless, and God bless America.